Another story here from the life of Billy Bray, Cornish miner. Friends, last week I was a-digging up my taters. That's potatoes. It was a wished poor yield, sure enough. There was hardly a sound one in the whole lot. And while I was a-digging, the devil come to me and he says, "Billy, do you think your father do love you?" "I should reckon he do," I says. "Well, I don't," says the old tempter in a minute. "If I'd thought about it, I shouldn't have listened to him, for his opinions ain't worth the leastest bit of notice." "I don't," says he, "and I tell ye what for. If your father loved you, Billy Bray, he'd give you a pretty yield of taters, so much as ever you do want, and ever so many of them, and every one of them as big as your fist. For it ain't no trouble to your father to do anything, and he could just as easy give you plenty as not, and if he loved you, he would too." Of course I wasn't gonna let he talk of my father like that, so I turned round upon him. "Pray, sir," says I, "who may you happen to be, coming to me a-talking like this here? If I ben't mistaken, I know you, sir, and my father too. And to think of you coming and saying he don't love me. Why, I've got your written character home to my house, and it do say, sir, that you be a liar from the beginning. And I'm sorry to add that I used to have a personal acquaintance with you some years since, and I served you faithfully as any poor wretch could, and all you gave me was nothing but rags to my back and a wretched home and an aching head and no taters, and the fear of hellfire to finish up with." I like the no taters bit. "And here's my dear father in heaven," Billy went on to say. "I have been a poor servant of his, off and on for 30 years, and he's given me a clean heart and a soul full of joy, and a lovely suit of white that'll never wear out. And he says that he'll make a king of me before he's done, and that he'll take me home to his palace to reign with him forever and ever. And now you come up here a-talking like that. Bless ye, my dear friends," he went off in a minute, like as if he'd been shot. I do wish he had, and he never had the manners to say good morning. Godliness is profitable unto all things, having the promise of the life which now is, as well as that which is to come. But all Christians love God for what he is, and not for profit or reward. And they love holiness, not only because it's happiness, but because it is his image, who is to them the fairest among 10,000, and the altogether lovely. It is a miserable, shallow philosophy to suppose that the Lord rewards those who are poor in spirit and pure in heart and patient under suffering with mere earthly good, or that their trust and love and devotion and service can be alienated by any sorrows and evils he permits to come upon them in this life.